Excuse me while I enjoy this beautiful Pinot Noir. My name's Taylor, and I'm a chef and a caterer, and now I do meal prep. And today I'm going to show you how to make a super bomb chicken tortilla soup. And it's not just going to be your any basic chicken tortilla soup, it's going to be super healthy because I don't use anything with gluten. And we use nothing but wholesome and organic, non-GMO ingredients, which is like really important when you're like trying to feed your soul in your life. So let's get it together. If you don't have one of these, I used to think that this was completely unnecessary. Like, who needs a pot that costs hundreds of dollars? It's really stupid. But I have to tell you that after I got this as a wedding gift, like, I've been obsessed with this. So like, definitely if you ever have the ability to buy one of these, get you one. Alright, so we're going to get this thing screaming hot because I'm going to sear off the chicken. And you really want a hot pan when you're searing things because you're not trying to cook it all the way through. But with that being said, like when you're using really high heat, you can't really walk away from it. This is going to be like a super quick process. So while that's heating up, I have here about 2.5 pounds of organic chicken breast, which has been like sliced into like slightly larger than bite-sized chunks. I like to do that because I feel that at the end product is a little heartier and more of a meal. So anyhow, we're gonna use just some like basic bitch or organic extra virgin olive oil. And you know, they say not to cook with this stuff because it's like for salad dressings or whatever. Well, I don't find that to be the case, so I'm gonna use a little bit of this in here. About a 1/4 cup or so. I mean, eyeball it. And I don't want to get this all over my fingers, so I'm going to use some tongs. Let's test and see if this is ready. So we're going to do this in batches because you don't want to overcrowd your pan. You're not going to get that crispy, brown, golden skin if you have too many pieces in there, because what's going to happen is everything's going to start like steaming, basically, and you're not going to get brown. So this is going to take like quite a while, probably about 15 minutes. Most of you who aren't like, you know, super good, you know, cooks or whatever might think, oh shit, like this stuff is sticking to the bottom of the pan. Am I not doing something right? Well, the thing is, you want all that stuff because you're going to see in a minute that I'm going to put some liquid in there and kind of steam it off the bottom. And that's all like super good flavor. We're all about flavor. It's one thing I hate about like all these little chicken pieces is that you have to like chase them and dance around the pan with them to get them out. It's such a pain in the ass. I'm sort of feeling like I'm just going to throw the rest of this in here right now because, like I said, I'm getting impatient. We don't want all this nasty juice stuff because, again, that's just going to like make it steam, and like honestly, I don't know. Chicken kind of grosses me out, and the juice even more.
Easy girl, don't take it too fast. Yeah, that's it right there, that's it, do it just like that. Only you can do it just like that, and I love it when your hands still wet because you just took a shower.
Now that our chicken is cooked,
Start over.
Now that our chicken is cooked and our pan is on and popping, we're going to do some onion remix. Basically what this onion is going to do is it's going to like break down sort of all this brown stuff, soak it up, add to it, you know. We're also going to put in some bell pepper. And I have one yellow and one orange, but I mean you could use red, green, like whatever pepper you're trying to use that pepper, man. That's 2 bell peppers. The same exact thing that we did to that chicken by getting it all browned and toasty, we're going to do to this because we're just like layering flavors. Did you hear me? We're layering flavors. The brown stuff is pretty much gone off the bottom of the pan, and it's turned into like some like brown juice. That brown juice is flavor. We're all about the flavor.
Thought I told you you didn't listen. I'm in the kitchen. I'm a magician, I'm on it, I'm like my.
And we're gonna add some garlic. It's about 3 or so cloves or whatever they call it, minced up. We're just only gonna like cook this for just like a little bit because you really don't want to cook the garlic too much. If you burn it, it kind of gets nasty. So we're adding a little bit of salt, some coarse ground black pepper, about a ½ cup of chili powder. And I like a lot of chili powder because I like a lot of flavor. Let me say it again. I like a lot of flavor. Boom. Flavor. Boom. We're going to mix that in, get it all incorporated in that oil. And then our last spice is cumin. Cumin is super powerful and like you don't want to overdo it with the cumin. So, you know, about a 1/3 of a cup or so there. So you see I've made this like spice paste. It's basically all the juices and the oil mixed in with all those seasonings you saw me just put in here. I'm basically just going to toast this for about 30 seconds just to kind of infuse that oil with the flavor of those seasonings. And I'm going to deglaze this pan with about 4 cups, a quart if you will, of chicken stock. Organic, of course. So for real though, I sort of underestimated how much chicken stock I was going to need. I probably actually need more, like 8 cups. So we're going to add another quart. And see, so much of cooking is like eyeballing this, you know? Like I took a look at how much liquid was in there and I looked at all this other stuff that I need to put into it and I was like, that's not enough liquid. So it's like, go with it. If you need more liquid, put more liquid. So I put another, so total 8 cups. Now we're going to add everything else. Right here we have one, you know, regular old sized can of diced tomatoes. So I'm going to throw the juice and everything in here. Perf. Then we have 2 cans of organic pinto beans. I like pinto beans because they're really creamy. They have like a super nice texture. They're super creamy. So yeah, we're going to put 2 cans of those. And I don't have the liquid. It's just the beans. I drained all that other junk out. And then 2 cans of black beans. I like black beans because they add cool color. They have great fiber, texture, and all of that. And I like to have more than 1 bean in my tortilla soup. 1 bean isn't going to do it. We're not a 1 bean house over here. We're a 2 bean house. So you know what you do now? You just wait. You're pretty much going to bring this to a simmer. And you're going to let it simmer for probably a good ½ hour. Everything's in here. It just needs to come to a simmer. So I'm going to put the top on, but not all the way. We want to leave, you know, like a little, like a steam vent, if you will. We're going to have it on medium heat. If we feel like it's rapidly boiling or getting too hot, we'll turn it down. But basically, you just want to maintain like a simmer. And we're going to simmer this for about a ½ hour. And your girl is going to clean up because I got some OCD. This soup here has been simmering for about a ½ hour, and it smells phenomenal in here, ladies and gents. And we're basically going to bring this back to a simmer, and we're going to simmer it for probably like 10-15 minutes. Because this is chicken breast, you don't want to like cook it for too long or else it gets like really chewy. And then if you continue to cook it, it will break back down again, but it'll become like dusty. Like, does food even get dusty? Well, chicken breast does if you cook it too long. If you're looking for like a slow and steady wins the race kind of chicken soup, I would say use chicken thighs. And in that case, you could do exactly the exact same thing that we're doing here. But instead of simmering it for 10 to 15 minutes, you're going to simmer it for maybe like an hour. So anyhow, we're going to let this simmer. So the flavor is like super rich, really deep, delicious. You can just like taste all the layers of flavor. Alright, so this is ready. we're gonna serve it up. Definitely want to get a good amount of that chicken, you know? Get that protein. Alright. So, now we have the soup, and really, the tortilla soup is all about the accoutrements. So we're going to take, this is about a quarter of a lime. You know, go ham with the lime if you want, but I'm just going to do a quarter. So I'm just going to squeeze this in here, get some nice acidity going. Secondly, I love me some avocado, so I sort of did one of those, you know, like crisscross jobs in here with like a little tiny knife, and I already cut it up. Probably gonna use half of it, maybe let my husband have the other half if he's lucky. I'm a cheese girl, so I'm like, hey, that's a little bit of manchego and cheddar. Let that melt up in there, make it nice and creamy. And the final touch on this, again, controversial. I mean, if you're not into it, you're not into it. But I'm going to get some chips on this. These are some Trader Jose, whatever. But Trader Joe's quinoa and black bean, I like the texture. Get these things open. Ooh. Get a little bit of everything in there. Are you serious? This is so good. And it's so healthy for you. I mean, why wouldn't you make it? This is so good. Can't wait for you to try it. And honestly, I just want to thank you for following me on this delicious soup journey. Hopefully there's so many more. To find out more about what we're doing, please follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat. I'm probably on all of them. But for now, I'm going to get back to this. Can't wait to see you next time. This shit is so good.
You're making me hungry.
On the real though, this is our first video and we killing it.
Go.
Flavor.